All right, my 8 for Omaha. I'm just going to run through these.
Do it.
UNC. I think North Carolina, just so much depth, so much more experience. I mean, a guy like Jason DeCaro, who's now a sophomore and might be the best pitcher in the country. I mean, there's Jamie Arnold, there's Ryan Prager, there's the dude out of UCSB. What is it? Tyler Hemner. I think DeCaro has it. 5 innings, 1 hit, 6 Ks against Texas Tech. A very loud season opening sweep the Tar Heels had of the Red Raiders. We hadn't even really touched on that yet this weekend. They had 3 outfield holes to fill. I think Carolina will find the right pieces to plug and play to get back to Omaha. And Folger Bowles, who got hurt after 9 starts last year, if he's able to stay healthy, I think that Carolina pitching staff is going to stand up against anyone in the country. They do have to replace Vance Honeycutt, but they'll find a way. I feel good about Carolina. Florida State, Jamie Arnold, enough said. Link Jarrett, sure. How about Noah Sheffield, Gary Sheffield's son, who hit his first collegiate home run this past weekend? I've seen all I need to see about FSU. I think Florida State gets back to Omaha. Clemson, who we just got done talking about, Cam Cannarella, could be a Golden Spikes Award winner. Missed the fall, was hurt at the back end of last season. I think that lineup is scary, can hurt you in a multitude of different ways. I got a true bona fide ace in Aiden Kanak. So you got UNC, Florida State, and Clemson. I got 3 ACC schools. I'm then going to go to the Big Ten, keep with the Michigan theme. Tracy Smith, let's do it, baby. Maize and Blue, getting back to Omaha. With Michigan, the other surprise I would have, and I'm saving the SEC for last because we know there's going to be 3 or 4 teams. I'm only going with 3 SEC, but I am going with DBU to finally break through and make it to Omaha. Dan Hefner in his 17th season, previous 16 years, he's only missed the tournament 3 times. He's made it to 10 consecutive NCAA tournaments. They got power dudes like Grant J, Chaden Cross, James Elander. If he can be healthy, he was injured last year. He's as good of a top gun as there is nationally, and I trust in Hefner. I trust maybe the best mid-major, non-high major program to not get to Omaha to this point. It's between them and ECU, and I don't think ECU even escapes a regional round. They'll be lucky to sniff the NCAA tournament this year with 31 new faces and relying on a true freshman to be their ace. I think DBU is going to break through and get to Omaha. They're going to be the darling coming up in the College World Series. So that's 5, okay? Michigan, DBU, 3 ACC, and North Carolina, Florida State, and Clemson. My 3 SEC, Florida, Arkansas, LSU. Derek Curleo, the freshman for LSU. I know I'm not saying his name right, but that freshman is going to be a stud. We got Bear Jones back, 28 home runs last year. If he can cut down on the strikeouts, he can be a Golden Spikes Award finalist. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Luis
Hernandez on the watch list.
Yeah, Luis Hernandez coming over from Indiana State. They're going to pitch. Jay Johnson, national champs 2 years ago. Why not? LSU gets back there after North Carolina beat them in the Supers a year ago. Arkansas, they're going to try to be more physical. They need to be. They need to find more power. They tapped in the Gorilla Ball in theory last year, but it never really shown. The results never came on the field. They're going to try and steal more bases as well, something that they haven't done in past years. And Aloy, my God, Vahiva Aloy, his brother is also on the team. You got 2 of them.
Yes.
You got 2
He
Aloys.
transferred from BYU. Yeah.
You got 2 Aloys on the team. How about the play from Aloy, too, in the 10th inning? Down 2-1 to Washington State in the opener. Arkansas had to come back and walk off the Cougs at Baum-Walker Stadium. Arkansas records their 700th win on the weekend all-time at Baum-Walker Stadium, too, in the 4-game sweep of the Cougs. But Aloy, drifting out into shallow center field with his back to home plate, makes an incredible catch. Washington State tags from third base. Aloy is able to fire off his back foot, twist, throw into the plate. I think it may have hopped once. Terrific play. Was able to cut down the runner and preserve what was a 2-1 game. And then Arkansas was able to come back there in the late innings and extra innings and win in walk-off fashion. So, from Souza, Ryder Helfrich, who likes his taters mashed. I mean, there is some power, a great mix of transfers. Is this year that Arkansas finally breaks through and wins the whole thing? I don't know, but they're going to get back to Omaha this year. I trust DVH. I think it's year 23 for Dave Van Horn. And then with Florida, Con, I've got more, but Brody, don't you know, Donay. 6'5", 245 pounds, dripping wet. I mean, this is CAGS 3.0. Okay, my new love affair starts and ends with Brody Donay. Not to mention Cade Kurland, Colby Shelton, Ty Evans is back. Liam Peterson is your ace. And then Pierce Capola's throwing 100 miles per hour every single time he rips back. I mean, this Florida team used 3 different lineups this past weekend. They started guys in different parts of the order across all 3 days against Air Force. By the way, hat tip to the Air Force Sky team for parachuting in Gainesville. It was amazing.
It was incredible. Pierce Capola, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 12 Ks. Dealing. All right, I screenshotted that on Florida social media because I was like, holy crap, because this guy has been dealing with all kinds of issues and injuries, trying to get back to what everyone thought he was going to be, and to come out and throw a dart like that against the Air Force Academy on opening weekend, that's a good sign if there are things to come for him. But yeah, I love this Florida team. They are one of my 8 for Omaha as well. Shaz, I'll leave the rest of the SEC till the end, just like you did. I have 4 from the SEC. I only have uno ACC teams. I have a Big East, a Big 10, and a Big 12 in Omaha. So we're a little more scattered on the rest of the conferences than you were. I will tell you the non-SEC ACC teams first. So we're going to go Big 10. We're not going to go Michigan. We're going to go with a team that has not made it to Omaha since 1954. Give me a team that has made it to the Super Regionals back-to-back seasons, haven't cracked it. They're getting there this year. Quack, quack, baby. The Oregon Ducks are going to Omaha.
Dude, they lost at home or wherever they lost. They lost at Toledo over the weekend.
I don't care. They're going to Omaha.
All right.
They're snapping the 70-year drought. I am not overreacting. We love to overreact on opening weekend. I'm not overreacting. Just like I think Duke will be competing and be just fine, even though they lost the series to Cincinnati at home. Oregon is going to go to Omaha this year. They have an absolute stud in their Friday night guy, Grayson Grinsell, who's on the Golden Spikes watch list as well. He's going to lead their staff, and they're going to crack the door and get back to Omaha. Besides Oregon, out of the Big East, give me a rematch of last year's epic fight between Florida State and UConn. And this year, the Huskies will derail the Seminole train and get to Omaha. UConn has not been to Omaha since I had it written down 1979. They have not been to Omaha since 1979. They've won 4 straight Big East regular season championships, 5 consecutive NCAA tournament berths. They have been here before. They know what they're doing. They have the experience, and they will pull the biggest upset of the college baseball postseason and end Florida State's run one stop short of Omaha, because I am very high on Florida State, but this is my otherworldly upset pick for the year to start. And then in the Big 12, this is going to be the one that's probably the most shocking. Give me West Virginia to make their first ever appearance at the College World Series. Steve Saban's first year. The offense is absolutely loaded. They have a ton of guys back in the lineup. The pitching is a huge question mark, but they got a great transfer in Griffin Kern. He was absolutely outstanding in his Friday night start against Jacksonville. They have some pieces that are moving from the bullpen to the rotation, Carson Estridge notably. But if these guys can figure out their rotation and pitch as well as they're capable of, this team is absolutely dangerous, could win the Big 12, and could go to Omaha. So there's my 3 teams outside of the ACC and the SEC. My lone ACC team, it is going to be the Clemson Tigers. For all the reasons you stated earlier, I absolutely love this team. I think Eric Bakich has an absolutely stacked squad. So put Clemson in the final 8 in Omaha.
Only if he continues to call games on the radio will they get to Omaha.
Exactly. And then my 4 SEC, you mentioned 2 of mine, Arkansas and Florida. I agree with you there. Arkansas with a sweep of the Cougs. Florida just getting all kinds of great stuff from Liam Peterson and Pierce Coppola on the mound. And then their lineup, like you mentioned, so many guys back. Yes, they lost Cags. Enjoy your time in the sunshine, my friend. But Brody Donay, like you mentioned, is going to hopefully step up for Florida and take the reins of what Cags was doing a year ago. I've also got the number 1 team in the country, Texas A&M, getting back to Omaha, and Tennessee, last year's national champion, returning to the College World Series. So there's my 8. Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Florida from the SEC, Clemson from the ACC, UConn, Oregon, West Virginia outside those 3. UConn in the Big East, Oregon in the Big 10, and West Virginia in the Big 12.